welcome to Yoga with Mack. I'm Mack, and today's practice is a shorter practice designed to help you increase your flexibility to hopefully get into your splits. To get started, we'll go ahead and we'll get into a nice tabletop position. And we're just going to kind of do a few rounds of cat-cow here. So we're going to just kind of connect with the breath a bit. So breathe in and drop the belly, okay? And open up the chest. And then when we exhale, we'll go ahead and round through our spine. And push away from the mat. Inhale. Chest open. And exhale. Round the back. Inhale. And exhale. And on your next inhale, we'll go ahead and come to a neutral position. And we're going to just do a few hip circles, okay? So we're just going to I'll take our left leg first so that you can see. And we're just gonna kind of take our leg and just draw a circle with the knee moving forward, okay? We're only gonna do this for a few times before we go ahead and switch it to the other direction. This is just to get a little bit of mobility through that lower body. And we'll go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Forward first, and then backward. Okay. And then let's get into a nice child's pose. Stretch out the arms and just hang here for a little bit. We're going to come back into tabletop, and then we're going to take our left leg and we'll go ahead and bring it up to get into a low lunge. And you can come on up to place the hands on the top of the thigh, or you can stay down on the mat and frame your foot with your hands. Really, just whatever feels best for you. And we're going to be here for a few breaths to really get that stretch through the top of the right thigh. And also kind of through the bottom of the left thigh here. From here, we're going to get into our half splits. So we're just going to straighten our front knee and flex the foot to protect the knee, and then bend over that front leg to get a nice stretch through the hamstring on the left side here. And really focus on hinging at the hips to get over the leg, and you'll really feel that stretch in the hamstring. And just a few breaths here. This is a very intense stretch, so take notice if your breath has started to kind of speed up a little bit. Totally normal, totally fine. Okay, and then back into that low lunge just for a second so that we can come to a tabletop again, just to switch sides. So we're gonna now take that right leg and bring it into that low lunge. And once again, yogi's choice, you can come up. If this feels good, you just wanna make sure that you keep that knee stacked over the ankle. Or you can come down and frame the foot. I prefer this because I think it gives there's less strength involved in the upper body, allowing me to just focus on the stretch of the lower body. But everyone is different. We're just going to breathe here. Okay, half splits. Are you ready? We're gonna go ahead and start to bring the butt back towards the left heel to straighten out the front leg and come over the front leg by hinging at the hips, right? Now it's okay to round the back a little bit here. Also, I find that I get the best stretch when I have my hands. I had a teacher at one point that would call these cupcake hands. I don't know if that's like a familiar term, but I love it because she always would say, imagine there's a cupcake underneath your palm here and you don't want to ruin the frosting. So you want to kind of keep a nice tented hand over the cupcake without ruining the frosting. Let me know in the comments if you've had other teachers describe the hand positioning that way. Once again, this is just such a lovely stretch for the hamstring here. And you could even floss it out a little bit, like if you want to come back into that low lunge. I do love that feeling, but I will say when it comes to flexibility, you typically want to hold the stretch for just a little bit. So try to power through and really breathe into that hamstring. Alrighty, and let's go ahead and come back up to our low lunge to then get back into our tabletop. From here, we're going to just take a nice gentle seat, butt on the heels, nothing crazy. And if you know anything about me, you know that my transitions are not fancy by any stretch of the imagination. So we're just going to come to a seat with our legs out in front of us. And we're going to get into a one-legged forward fold. So we'll go ahead and bend the right knee, bring the right foot to the left inner thigh, and we'll go ahead and take a deep breath in all together. Raise those arms all the way up and sparkle your fingertips and come on down, hinging at the hips. Now, I can grab my foot. Some of you may not be able to do that. You can come to the shin, you can come to the mat. You just want to make sure that you're not pushing yourself too hard. You can always ease into these stretches. And you'll find that the longer that you hold the stretch, the more you might get towards the foot. So if you are here today on the mat or on the shin, as we breathe through these stretches, you might find that you have enough space created to grab a hold of the foot. The important thing here too is you just want to make sure you have a nice active foot. As you bring your nose to your knee. Okay, and on your next inhale, let's come right on back up. Take it over to the other side. Again, we'll take a nice deep breath in. Wiggle the fingers. You might not even be able to see my fingers. And then come on down on that exhale. and take a hold of the foot if you can. Move the mic up a little bit. Hopefully it's not too loud. Probably is, but whatever. And we're just going to breathe here for a little bit. All right, and on your next inhale, we'll come on back up. And what kind of splits class would this be if we didn't have middle split prep? So from here, we're just gonna go to the long edge of the mat and take our legs out so that we have the corners covered by our feet. And it doesn't need to be anything crazy. You don't need to go super wide today if you don't want to. Make sure the feet are active here. We don't want to lose that nice flex of the foot. And then we'll go ahead and just gently make our way forward. Again with the cupcake hands. And we might even find that our forearms come down to the mat, or that we're even able to fully lay on the mat. And we're just going to take a few breaths here. Really getting that stretch through the inner thighs. And just breathing through any tension that comes up. It's okay to recognize it and then breathe it away. Don't even let that bother you. Because we're getting rid of all that tension now anyways. Getting these nice stretches in. And again, you might find that as you're breathing through these stretches, that you can get a bit deeper. You might be able to bring your forehead to the floor, or maybe your chin to the floor if you're really flexible. And on your next inhale, we'll go ahead and come back up out of this posture. And we'll bring our feet back to a cross-legged position. And we'll just kind of sit here for just a second before we get into our Shavasana, just to notice how we feel any different from the beginning of class or before we got on the mat today. I can tell you I definitely feel a lot lighter in the lower body, which I love. Okay, let's go ahead and get on our backs and get into our Shavasana. Go ahead and tuck the shoulders underneath your back. And take a big deep breath in and a long exhale out. And I'll leave you here to just sit in silence for a little bit and just notice how your body feels after those wonderful stretches. Go ahead and wiggle the fingers and the toes. And roll over to one side before sitting on up. And you can keep your eyes closed if you wish, or you can flutter them open gently as we come to a nice seat. The light in me honors and sees the light in you. Namaste.